Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Muhammad Andi Afizi bin Muhammad Nizam. My student ID 2020-628-Y92 and my supervisor is Surveyor Kolim Shahrul. So today, I'm going to present about my VIVA, the awareness of 3D printing building in Malaysia. Let's start with a question. What is 3D printing? It is like a regular printer, but it's printed again and again, layer by layer, to make it from 2D to 3D. The idea of 3D printing our building is nothing new. According to Marchman 2019, 3D printing construction is an emerging technology that is set to revolutionize the construction industry. Further information, this technology has proven elusive with unlimited possibilities for geometric complexity realization. 3D printing is also classified in fourth industrial revolution. They build up super-sized printer because they want to print the building, so the building can directly print on the construction site. It uses a special construction material like eco-friendly concrete. So, with 3D printing technology, it can reduce cost and time, lowering air emission, and minimize injuries and fatalities. Let's move on to the problem statement. The process of using 3D printing is very cheap, but the problem is the machine itself. The printer is expensive to own it. It is because this technology is still new and not many production companies want to produce it. So the number of the printer is still limited and it will affect the price. While in Malaysia, there is a lack of financial support from the government. It causes the creator did not motivate and innovate or create something new. Although in Malaysia have one of the largest number of engineering graduates, but the exposure to this technology is not widespread, and it causes us to have limited skill in the workforce. Compared to our neighbor, Singapore, we are still far behind the race for 3D printing. The aim for this research is to determine the awareness and acceptance of Malaysian about 3D printing building technologies. Why for the research objective? The first one is to study how the young generation in the Klang Valley is aware of 3D printing technology. And the next one is to observe the acceptance of the young generation of 3D printing building in Malaysia. The next stage is methodology. Let's begin with data collection. Primary and secondary data are two categories that I use. For primary, a questionnaire will be distributed randomly to target group using Google Form system until it achieves 150 respondents. In this research, article, journal, website, and news are the most frequently used source for secondary data. Pivot table, a tool from Google Form, was used to analyze the data from the survey that has been obtained. The young generation aged between 15 and 40 years old living in Klang Valley, Malaysia, is a research target population. The research process begins with preliminary studies, followed by data collection, data analysis, and finally, the conclusion and recommendation stage. The following phase in this research is finding. Two survey questions provide the data for this objective research. Did you aware of 3D printing in Malaysia? It's the question that answers the first objective of the research. 150 respondents were surveyed, and 58% of them indicated that they were aware of 3D printing in Malaysia by answering yes. In terms of respondent gender, 66.2% of men are aware compared to only 50% of women. Can you accept 3D printing technology? It is a query given to achieve a second objective. The study found that 90.7% of the respondents are capable of accepting 3D printing technologies. According to the respondent gender, all men can accept it, whereas just 18.4% of women couldn't accept it, which it is modest percentage. Conclusion mark the final stage of the research. There are several limitations to this research. First are time and energy. To successfully reach the goal, it will need a lot of time and energy to get 150 respondents. Secondly, COVID-19. This pandemic could have an impact on research success. The third is misunderstanding. Due to being unable to speak with the respondent in person, the likelihood is that the respondent misunderstood the question. The fourth is restrictive nature. The respondents are unable to express their opinion or provide additional justification for their belief. Fifth is unbalanced data. The issue lies in the demographic section of the questionnaire, specifically in the imbalanced age and gender distribution. As a result, the researcher is unable to confirm that this group belongs to this. Six is the accuracy of an answer. It is possible that the respondent gave a hint that they didn't understand the query. The final limitation is limited exposure. This research source material draw heavily on the studies conducted abroad because this technology is still underdeveloped in Malaysia. There have been 8 recommendations in this paper. The first recommendation is function. Future scholars can examine the role that 3D printing plays in everyday life. The benefit is the second. Future researcher can enumerate additional advantages of 3D printing technology. Cost came third. Researcher then investigate the actual cost of 3D printing. Next are quality and safety. Future scholar can investigate the high quality object that 3D printing generate. The project fit. The future study examine projects that have been already started, in progress, or will soon be finished in greater depth. Management comes sixth. Researcher can look at the best way to manage 3D printing building. 7 is material. The next researcher can look at the component used to make the product. The final suggestion is another field. In the future, academic could improve the industrial sector that need to use this technology. To be concluded, the two main objectives of this research have been fully attained. 3D printing is the technology that carries a message as a device that will save time, money, and nature. Of course, it can bring benefit to everybody. We are now on the verge of automation. Don't be surprised if 3D printing in the next few years will overtake the traditional method of construction. Thanks for watching.